Imagine vendoring at a place that is really huge, but only for your stuff to be robbed because of lack of security. Welcome everybody to a new art topic. Today we'll be talking about the Bite of Seattle. Now, how is this art related? Well, because there are a few things I want to talk about within this video. One, how vendors are being taken advantage of, and how this vendor lost about $1,500 in their merchandise because of lack of security at that place. Before we begin the video, guys, hit the like, subscribe. I do art videos, art topics, and also art/slash gaming videos very soon. Now, I got something very cool coming up very soon, guys. Within like the next 2 days, I have my review for EVO 2025. I'm a big fan of fighting games, guys, and I was like, you know what? How come I never make content out of it? That's just, you know, I should, because I love fighting games. So keep a lookout for that, guys. It's just be my review for EVO 2025. And as a viewer, but also I made a unique art piece for it too. So let's begin the video. So if you guys don't know what Bite of Seattle is, it's one of their biggest like conventions of like food vendors, pretty much, where like you buy unique food there. It looks very good, like tasty, fried foods, cold foods, desserts, like the whole shebang, right? And it just happened not even that long ago on the 25th to the 26th and also the 27th as well. So that's what happened recently. My friend told me about it because he actually started being a food vendor in a recent events. What he does is he does Taiwanese popcorn chicken with waffles inside of fries. So here it is right here. And like he's just been doing this for a couple times already, and he's been killing it. He's been fun. He's been testing the food out. They've been making recipes for it, like different kind of flavors and stuff. And here it is right here. Boom, right there. And yeah, so he's like getting into it, right? They're setting up, getting into this world, and he already saw the back things about the vendor world, which are, as an artist who does Artist Alley, I've seen and heard a lot of bad things about Artist Alley as well, which is very relatable. But let's break it down just a little bit. So let's check out this video pretty much of the artist who lost a lot of money by doing the Bite of Seattle show.
A local artist is recovering emotionally and financially after her booth was broken into during the Bite of Seattle Food Festival. The theft reportedly happened overnight during the 3-day event while security was on patrol. As Fox 13's Alejandro Guzman shows us, the artist turned to social media to share the aftermath.
I like to consider myself jack of all trades, master of none, so I do a little bit of everything. My business did start with artwork originally, so like art prints, paintings, drawings, stuff like that. And then I've kind of expanded to scrunchies too, and apparel and candles.
Like any artist, Courtney Correa would like to pursue her dream of being a full-time artist. Over the last year, she started participating in markets. Her appearance at the Bite is her first time at the iconic Food and Arts Festival and her first experience with overnight setups.
And I was just looking for big, out-of-the-box festivals to kind of sell my stuff at. And so Pride was a big one. I did that last year, and I heard Bite of Seattle was huge, so I thought, you know, why not? Let's give it a go. And
her optimism quickly turned to disbelief and heartbreak Sunday morning.
they took a bunch of my prints. I had hoodies, t-shirts, artwork, stickers. They just trashed my entire thing.
On the final day of the festival, Courtney returned to find much of her merchandise was stolen and her booth ransacked.
I opened my 10 and I was super confused as to what happened because I was like, I did not leave it like this. I thought maybe the wind had knocked things over. And so as I kept looking, I noticed that it was just missing, not just on the ground.
Among the stolen items, art prints, apparel, totes, candles, original artwork, sticker displays, supplies, even her sewing machine's power cord, and square readers for payments.
But at the end of the day, like, I just can't get that time back because I do hand make 99% of my items.
She was told the event had overnight security, and she says she personally saw them patrolling the previous day.
They seemed very diligent, and so I felt safe in that moment. I did. I trusted them to do their job.
Courtney turned to TikTok, sharing her loss, which she estimates is around $1,500 to $2,000, not including the...
Yeah, so when I saw this story first, and this was just the beginning, guys, this is just the first part of this video. Yeah, that sucks. Losing so much money, but like, was this the only person targeted? Because they're the artists, you know, the full festival is mostly about like food and everything. And man, what I found about this whole Bite Seattle and who owns it, it gets so much worse, guys. But as an artist, I feel the people that run the convention should reimburse the artists because they failed to secure their product. But I believe in like some contracts that say like they're not fully responsible. Like you leave things as it will. We do our best to secure. I feel like there's things in the contract that says that they're not fully responsible for a way for them to get out of it, kind of thing. Because there is a lot of theft in Arts Alley, guys. There is a lot of theft. There's so many things that an artist cannot see when somebody takes something like out of your booth. I probably got items stolen that I don't even know to this day because it's just small items sometimes, right? So, anyways.
Booth fee. She says event organizers have reached out and have been very supportive, even refunded her. She's also filed a police report.
You can't let the bad things get to you or else the world's not going to have any art left.
Alejandra Guzman.
That's actually very true. But there you go. So she got reimbursed. I'm pretty sure they give her a refund for her booth. I think that's a very fair thing to do. And I'm happy there's I guess a silver lining on it. Because at the end of the day, she is getting a lot of promotion. And not only that, she got her money back plus any money that she made within the first couple days. So at least like hopefully she made some profit with her getting a refund on the booth. But like I said, there are sometimes they're there where like when death happens, they'll try their best to find it, but like at the end of the day, they're not fully responsible because it's mostly like it is what it is kind of thing. But again, I could be completely wrong about it, but I remember seeing some contracts. I remember people telling me some stuff, and you know, we'll see where it goes. But having an art booth and an outside show was not like a convention or an expo or anything like that. It is a high risk of products being stolen because there's not that much crazy security compared to a convention to get inside a building and then steal the items and stuff compared to like outside where somebody could just jump over the cage or something and just jack your stuff and walk away, because it's a lot easier, I guess you could say, in many ways, especially with security stuff. So I think that's why I personally don't do a lot of shows that are outside. If I do, it's just a one-day event. I will not do a 3-day event and leave my stuff there. If I do that, then the only way I will do it is like I have to like leave my stuff there, take everything down, and then rebuild it every single day. It'll be annoying, but I will do it because I don't want my stuff to be stolen. That's just me though. What do you guys think about outside events? What do you guys recommend to do and what not to do when you're doing outside events? So yeah, we saw the first part of what happened to the artists. Their stuff being stolen, $1,500. They got refunded, which that's a good thing. But looking at this event, there's actually more bad stuff about this where they're actually taking advantage of vendors, aka by Seattle, aka foodieland. We do have another video for you guys. I'm not trying to make it into like a full reaction in this time around. I just did it for the artist, but I want to play you guys this part right here. I found a short video of 3 minutes. So let's begin the video. And like I said, it gets worse.
Serious allegations on how they're treated by the company that puts on the Bite of Seattle.
Alejandra Guzman is taking a closer look at the contract they are required to sign and explains why some business owners and customers feel they're the ones paying the price.
If you missed it on the Bite of Seattle, be glad!
Foodies calling the Bite of Seattle the bite of your wallet.
So if you guys didn't see that little thing right there, I spent $60 on 2 horrible portion average plates of food. There's a reason for that, guys. There's a big reason for that. And it's not the vendor's fault.
Shocked by the price of lumpia buckets, dip cheesecake, and alligator skewers.
It's good though, but not worth $27.
The iconic Food and Arts Festival is also under fire by an anonymous vendor who reached out to Fox 13 saying they were misled by Foodieland, the company behind the event, with heavy-handed policies and prioritized out-of-state sellers, all who are under a contract that punishes those who speak out against the organizer. Foodieland hosts more than a dozen food festivals.
The reason why they're doing that because they don't want like whistleblowers about explaining what's going on with the vendor world, especially in the food place. So as you can see on this part where Foodieland is playing favoritism. There's favoritism in the art world too, guys, in the Artist Alley. There was favoritism in Anime Expo with the Verda and stuff, but they took that out. I believe in this year in 2025. That's why I got in, because I was a new artist and I got into the Artist Alley. So I'm happy it's more a fair game now. In my personal opinion, is again, not everyone's gonna like it, but hey, it's fair. And with this, it's like I don't understand how Foodieland does not prioritize like especially locals in some ways, but because the way they're adding vendors for their Foodieland thing is that they have like a contract where like if you're part of Foodieland, you get added into any event you want, pretty much, right? And it's kind of like a weird thing where a lot of the locals are like starting out, are new, or want to get in it. They can't even get in it because they got their quote unquote veterans for Foodieland. Anyways, it gets worse. It gets worse.
Across Texas, California, Nevada, and Arizona. The California-based company bought the rights to the bite last year from a Kirkland-based company for an undisclosed sum of money, according to the Puget Sound Business Journal. A change, the anonymous insider says, comes at the expense of Washington businesses. They claim California vendors are prioritized, saying they get prime booth locations with high foot traffic because they travel with Foodieland year-round, leaving Washington vendors in the outskirts hurting sales. Vendors aren't the only ones noticing.
I think the number one complaint is that it's not local.
Adding insult to injury, vendors paid between $1,500.
I did not know this. I did not know this. When I first saw this, I was really mad. I did a whole rant in my stream at twitch.tv/JonnyboiG or on YouTube. I saw this and this made me extremely mad. Not only they're charging you for the booth space, they're also charging you or expecting you to pay 21% of gross sales. 21%. And people need to understand this is not the vendor's fault of why the prices for the food is actually high. A lot of people prefer to sell it in smaller prices. My friend who does food conventions or food places, he didn't charge as much for his food, but like I believe they were getting mad, or some people like in the event were getting mad or telling people like you gotta raise the prices up or something like that, and it was like really weird. And this is like ridiculous, dude, like really ridiculous, because what the hell is the point of paying your booth place then? That doesn't make no sense. You're paying for your booth, but then you also have to pay 25% of your sales. That's really ridiculous. That makes zero sense. Bro, if they did that in an artist alley, I'll be mad, bro. I'm not doing that. I paid for the booth. You guys are letting me rent this booth space for this 3 days, and that's it. I ain't paying you anything more than that. We have upon agreement of this space, and that's it. I'm not gonna give you my sales or anything like that. I was the F up, like, no. That is ridiculous. Anyways, let's continue.
And $3,250 for a booth with approved menu items. Sellers.
So not only you have to pay for your booth and get your 21% of your gross sales or whatever, you have to pay. You have to get everything perfect as much as possible, right? They have to approve the menu. They have to approve of like your, like it says right here, water source and all that kind of stuff, which I do understand in some places, because again, this is food. You don't want to what's it called, contamination, and that's how they say the word, like where you don't want people to get sick for food, right? So I do understand to certain aspect of like, okay, of course there gotta be safety issues, got a little bit more strict, obviously, because this is food items. You don't want to get anybody sick at the event, so I get on that part. But guess what? If you want to sell with your portable, like Square, PayPal, or whatever you accept, like the card payments and stuff like that, you're not allowed to use your own. You have to use their own point of sale device rental. You have to get their own. You have to sell it through their own device rentals. That's how they can keep up of how much money you're making.
Also have to use the company's payment system, which includes a 3% fee and 30 cents for each card transaction, plus a 21 to 29% of all sales. Here's what that means. For a $15 squid skewer, the booth is making $11.11 if it was paid with a credit card. The vendor would have to sell about 225 squid skewers just to make up for the booth fee, not including food and labor costs. The anonymous vendor.
Not only that, hotel as well, right? If there are like other people, like especially like California, which again, I'm not a big fan of favoritism. I really hate it.
Vendor says event organizers sent secret shoppers who paid in cash trying to catch vendors not logging sales in the company's payment system. Those who failed protocol were allegedly kicked out mid-event. Not to mention the local artist who...
So we already know about this story right here, but do you guys hear that part? Oh my God. Like when I saw this, so not only the artists got like ripped off, right? They got their stuff stolen. They're not going to get that back. They did get one good thing, by the way, at least they got the refund for their booth. But damn, I didn't know it was this bad for people that do food vendors. Like I didn't know this was this bad. Foodieland are ripping you off. They're ripping the vendors off and they're ripping the people off. That's why my friend told me, even like, that's why like, there's some places where like they don't make as much money because they're charging way too much money. You get 2 items for $60, dude. That's why when you go to concerts, we even go to conventions, concerts stuff, you got to see like why their food is actually way expensive. It's not because, I'm thinking now, it's not because of them. It's because of the people who run into conventions. This is ridiculous, dude. Because here's the thing, to buy Seattle or like any of these food vendors, what's the point of it? It's to try foods from Seattle, right? It's to try portions of Seattle instead of making only 1 or 2 items because they're $27, $16 each. There should be items, there should be like $6, $8, $10 to buy many foods for many vendors and everybody will make their money and you could try so many different foods from that place. That's literally the whole point. But now it's like people have to decide, do I want to charge? I can only buy 3 items now because I only have $100 with me. $100, by the way, and each are like $30. Like that's ridiculous, dude. That is ridiculous. And that is sad what's going on right now with like these vendors and stuff. And the only reason I know more about this is because my friend even told me about another one called Panda Fest, and they were gonna do that one, but they decided not to because they also charge hundreds of thousands of dollars for their for the booth. But not only that, they take about 10 to 25% of your gross sales too as well, and you have to use their pretty much payment system as well. That is ridiculous. It is insane. Imagine doing an artist alley show where like they tell you, hey guys, you guys will have to use our payment system and we also take your 10% to 20% of your gross sales. All right, that means every artist that have deals on their art and products and stuff have to do almost double their product price. So instead of like 5x7 prints are $5, now they're $10. The 8x10s $10 to $20. That'll be insane, dude. Oh my God, it's just like one of the things that I'm grateful that the artist alley does not have to fully like, you know, have to deal with this. I feel bad for the food vendors. I hope that this gets fixed, gets better, and the only way this could get fixed is the people pretty much stop buying this stuff. Like, and the thing that sucks, it's gonna hurt the vendors, but hopefully in the longer run it'll get things fixed. So let me know what you guys think about this vendor problem with the food industry, because there are a lot of problems in the artist alley world, and I talk on one of them, which is proxies. But overall, I think the artist world does have better things compared to the food vendors in some ways, especially with their payment system and all that. Like, damn, dude. Like I said, I was very surprised of all this. Anyways, this video is long enough. Let me know where you guys stay. Hit the like, subscribe, guys. Keep a lookout for the Evo 2025 review with some unique artwork there, guys. Is actually an artwork piece that I showcased a year ago, but never made it into digital art piece. So keep looking for that. Peace out. Whoop. Pew.